Today is the 19th of May, and I have a power planning workshop that I'm teaching this morning at 11 a.m. my time. And what I am doing to start my week is my power planning. So this is my current, not conundrum, but I just wanted to share where I'm at. So current conundrum is that in these vlogs, I want to share what I'm actually doing. And then I have a thought that is too advanced that it might not make sense. Just because if you start doing what I'm teaching, this isn't where you're going to start. This isn't what you're going to start with, because I'm doing my power planning, that I'm really interrogating my needle movers. And typically, if you're just starting out with this, you're going to what's the right one and all of that. And I am really just drilling down on what my needle mover is for my quarterly milestone for this quarter, which is $100,000 in revenue. And I kind of want to share it. So I'm going to share it. I'm just choosing to have the thought that this will make complete sense, and that I know how to communicate this in a way that'll make sense to you, and that this isn't too advanced. And if this is beyond what you would personally be at the point of doing, that this is still so helpful and inspiring to hear. I also have reconfigured the office. Steve helped me yesterday. I trialed having the whiteboard behind me last week. I really like it, even though the background's less interesting to look at. I get to see my really nice background here. And I've loved on my coaching calls teaching from the whiteboard, and I loved doing that from the workshop. So I've set up the door's here, and then you just walk in. Let me show you. You walk in and I'm right here instead of before. Essentially the desk was in the same spot, but I was on the other side. So that feels good. I taped up under the desk all the cords. I hope it holds. With duct tape, I might need to add a bit more. So anyway, all of that to say, I am doing my power hour. And what I'm doing, so when you're in the power planning course or PGSE, you get the power planning companion. So I have that open to go through. And I'm doing all of my power planning just in a written Word doc. And I'm also just talking out loud to myself because I like verbally processing things, and to just be able to just say it out loud without having to record it is really helpful. So what I have done is I have gone through, so what's my growth goal? I've connected with that. Then I got out everything on my mind in my business, everything on my mind in my personal life, which is a long list and definitely more than I have time to do this week. And then I looked at my needle movers, what's my current problem? And my hypothesis, so I'm going to talk you through what came up. My hypothesis is that my business currently doesn't have enough data to iterate on the funnel. So the funnel that I'm referring to is to invite you to join the power planning workshop, which is so good, by the way. I'm so excited to teach again today. The power planning workshop. And then for those who want to continue working and do the deep dive, you can sign up for the power planning course. So in that workshop, I'm teaching my little heart out, and I'm inviting you, if you want to keep working with me, to be able to do that. So my thought is my business doesn't currently have enough data to iterate on that because there's not enough people. You can hear this not enough language is very vague, and doesn't have enough people to have the sales volume required to hit our goal. So the goal is to have 10 people sign up from each workshop for the course. And then I know from experience that a percentage of those people will go on to sign up for PGSE. It's about 50%, which is really good, within the next 6 months of them being in the power planning course, because it's so helpful and because they want more. And PGSE gives them the support, the accountability. You get the weekly coaching, all of that. So then I did a Byron Katie turnaround and asked myself, is this true? Which my brain wants to be of course that's true. And I already had come up with that hypothesis last week. And then what I found is, no, it is not true. I do have enough data from my own sales expertise to iterate on the funnel, that I don't just need a certain number of people. There's already a lot of things that I know from being experienced in sales, and I teach my clients sales as well, that I don't need to have the data to just for data's sake. So there's already a lot that I can iterate on, not all at once, necessarily, but like in a very methodical way. And I do already have enough people, but then I came up with I don't have enough belief to have 10 power planning course signups with the current volume of registrants. Possible belief, I have insanely good conversion rates, and I am connected to, when I wrote this, I wasn't planning to read it out. And people who come into contact with me want to be my client, want to become my client. I'm incredibly compelling. And I have way above industry standard conversion rates. Who would I be without this belief? So Byron Katie teaches a 4-question process, which is this true? Is this absolutely true? Who would I be without this thought? And then you do a turnaround. And I love it just as a structure for interrogating belief. So, and like actually creating a lot of freedom. So then I went into who would I be without this belief? I'd be connected to the people in front of me and the data in front of me already, and really like connected to the sufficiency of what's already there. And then the turnarounds were, I have enough data and enough people already. I don't need enough data and I don't need enough people. And another one, which is so interesting, I'm like, this feels really true. They don't have enough data and they don't have enough people, either testimonials or my own personal experience. Like there's not enough, like not personality, but kind of like I'm not fully in it when I'm selling. Like if I'm still like just trying to get it right, they don't have enough people to be able to sign up. So that's really interesting because I know that I haven't been sharing the case studies yet and the testimonials yet from the course and from power planning. And like this is the truth. As I've talked this out, I am not owning that I am my own testimonial. I think like when I watch back the last workshop, my energy is still like, I don't know how to word this. It's kind of like a bit too friendly, as in like, ha ha ha, we're all in this together, instead of like, I've got you, I'm the leader, I have figured this out. Just follow me, like this is what to do. So I notice it with like laughing in this kind of insecure way, or like trying to be really, I don't know how to describe it. I'm really happy with the workshop that I taught last week. And like also I'm like, oh, I can feel I'm not fully being in my power in that workshop. Like I'm not fully stepping into I'm the leader and I've got you. And I have had deep struggles with what I'm teaching, but I don't have deep struggles with those things that I'm teaching anymore. And I don't relate to those, like I don't have those things in my life anymore because I figured it out. And I have a lot of other things I'm working on, like the next level versions of those problems. But I have got you. If you have the problem I'm talking to, like I've got you. So I think like stepping into that is much more of a needle mover. So than like just trying to have more data. Essentially, the summary is that I was like, okay, well, is my problem, my hypothesis about it, is that I don't have enough belief that I can sign 50 power planning course students and 25 PGSDs from my current audience by the end of June. Is this true? With the power planning course, it doesn't feel true. Like I do feel like I believe that. I've had a lot more than 50 people go through that course. I've had more than double that all sign up within a few days of each other before, and I know how to sell it, and I know it's super helpful, and I know people in there get great results. And they want to keep getting more. And so they sign up for PGSD and come in and say how much they loved it. But then with PGSD, I was like, it feels true. I believe I could sign 10. Any more currently feels beyond that. And then what came up is then when I asked, is this absolutely true? I do believe I can build this belief. So I'm like kind of going into like possibility. But then I wrote, what if believing this is a decision that I can just make right now in this moment? I do believe I can create 25 PGSD, perfectionist getting shit done, signups this quarter. I am committed to creating 25 signups this quarter. I'm willing to hold that belief and build it even more every day. But I wouldn't set that goal if I didn't already believe it was possible. Who would I be without that belief? I'd be connected to my current audience and calmly getting shit done to invite 25 people in, and like not just inviting, but like compelling. Like if you can relate to what I talk about, like I have something so helpful that is going to change your life. And then what came up for me as well is that within the current audience, my belief is kind of like my current audience is static or kind of like declining. because I'm not running ads or anything. I'm kind of just talking to the same people, but I do have enough people. And what's actually true is that there are new people entering my audience every single day. I have a lot of word of mouth. People find my podcast by typing in the word perfectionism. A lot of my clients, like PGSDers and power planning course students, will recommend, like a lot of people like, oh, someone else who's done it recommended it to me, or I heard about it on YouTube from someone who's done PGSD. And they said how amazing it was. So I signed up. So like there's people coming in every day in so many different ways into my audience. It's not just like it's static if I'm not doing ads, or if I'm doing ads, it's growing. I do want to do ads, but I'm not doing that till next quarter. I'm really connecting with the organic side because I could see last week that my thoughts about doing ads was kind of from this place, or was from this place of I need to do ads because there's not enough people in my audience, and just from these thoughts of disconnection about my current audience. So then what I did was a self-coaching model. So I am certified by the Life Coach School, and I love the self-coaching model created by Brooke Castillo that just kind of summarizes how the world works, the connection between circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. And it's just like a timeless truth that is articulated in a really clear structure that I love. So I wrote down what's the circumstance, the goal to have 50 power planning course signups and 25 PGSD signups this quarter. My thought is, so I looked at like what's the unintentional model. My thought is my business currently doesn't have enough data. So I took the thought that I'd found. My business currently doesn't have enough data to iterate on the funnel and doesn't have enough people to get the sales volume required to hit our goal. So, and here's the hidden end of the sentence. So I need to focus on getting more people to the workshop rather than having the people who come to the workshop actually sign up. How do I feel when I think that thought? Certain, which is so interesting. This is one of the things that came up for me, like how, and this has been work for a while now, like how much I crave certainty and just, I mean, I'd say I have a pretty good tolerance for uncertainty, but like I am at the point to increase that. And that's like work in entrepreneurship for perfectionists to do, is increasing your uncertainty tolerance. So the actions that flowed from me feeling certain because of thinking the thought, my business currently doesn't have enough data and all of that, is to focus on telling more people about the workshop and getting them to the workshop. Don't focus on having people who attend the workshop actually sign up. Create safety about, like emotional safety for myself about the workshop by telling myself it doesn't matter if people sign up, which it does. This is so important for them. But it's just really focused on me and my goals versus what's important for my person. Don't set up countdown emails for registrants. So I didn't actually set up like my normal process that I'd have, which is to set up countdown emails of like, hey, like 3 days from now, hey, 2 days from now, like getting people ready. It was kind of like, oh, once they register, then like I'll have more data because there are more registrants. Don't set up post-workshop sales emails for attendees. So I'm going to use the same ones I had last week. It's a whole new set of people seeing them this time. So I'm using the same ones. But I didn't set them up, like they're not ready to go. Spend time scheduling emails myself rather than delegating to Neha, who's my assistant. Do things to take the pressure off myself to perform versus having pressure on myself to perform and rising to the occasion. Don't set up tracking spreadsheet and goals. So like it's so funny, my brain be like, I don't have enough data. Yeah, true, because I literally haven't set up a very simple spreadsheet to track the data. Our thought will create the results. Remove due dates on the workshop in my Asana tasks. Don't set up Asana workshop project or like half set it up. Do everything myself so I'm busy with the tech versus feeling the uncertainty. Celebrate. So we had 3 signups for the power planning course. Celebrate that from a place of me doing the bare minimum is working. So just imagine how good it will be when I actually start trying, but then don't actually fully try. And then what else do I have? Write great emails to get people to the workshop, but then don't prepare them. Like don't tell them about, hey, I'm going to invite you into something really amazing. And then the result is that I keep needing to focus on getting more people to the workshop. And I keep focusing on that rather than sales. And we therefore don't achieve our goal that we have. So like it self-fulfills. And all of that has me being busy with doing a lot of things and then just frustrated. So what I'm doing now is connecting with why I love being really committed and connected to a goal. And I don't need to be certain about it. I think currently the bottleneck for me is when I feel uncertain, I then slow down to create certainty. or I like double check things, or I like try to go logical about it, so to speak, instead of just having the plan and being uncertain. And so I just want to like do things while feeling uncertain. When I have done that, I get the best results. And that every time, if I look back, every time I've dramatically changed my life, it has been when I have been willing to feel very uncertain while taking action and being committed to the outcome that I'm creating, and being willing to feel a lot of discomfort, not from this, like, I'm going to push myself and force myself to do things I don't want to do, but from a place of, this is important, I'm important, and I'm willing to feel this uncomfortable feeling so as to support myself to do something that matters to me. So what came up for me, and this also came up for me on the weekend, just really, I was watching something from my coach, Stacey, and just really connecting with and recognizing how much I love responsibility. If you're a parent like me, so I have 4 little ones under 5, I can say that for 2 more months, Lydia's turning 5 in 2 months, that I find myself saying, and a lot of people say this, like, oh, like, look how much fun kids have, like just having no responsibilities. And what I noticed is that for me in 2020, at the end of 2022, I made decisions that I later deemed to be irresponsible business-wise. And I've talked about the details of this in a lot of different podcast episodes and Inside PGSE, so I won't go like into it in this. It's not like a secret. It's just, I feel like simpler to just cut out that detail for a second and just tell you the theme. So I made some decisions, and I later, my future self said like, that was irresponsible, essentially, like that was a bad decision, that was wrong, you shouldn't have done that. Like, that's what I said to myself. And then to avoid future me beating me up for being irresponsible again, what I did really subtly was I reduced my responsibilities and I reduced my commitment so that I wouldn't have to feel irresponsible, because I have an identity that I am a responsible person. A lot of my clients have this as well. We believe that we are responsible people. And so it's really challenging identity-wise whenever we get a lot of evidence against a current identity. It feels very painful. So what we either do is change our identity of I'm irresponsible now, or we try to adjust things so that we don't keep getting more evidence of the thing we don't want to get evidence of. So my identity didn't change. I still believe I'm responsible, but it was so painful to feel irresponsible while believing I am a responsible person that I just subtly reduced what I was responsible for. I got fuzzier with my goals. I stopped setting like really big goals, or I'd like just like kind of like hustle and overwork towards them and not be like calmly and cleanly committed. And I kind of just like reduced everything back. At the same time as well, I really feel like this is part of it. A lot of the uncertainty I was experiencing in my life was due to my personal life, having 4 kids within 4 years, including twins, including 2 high-risk pregnancies that had a lot of uncertainty with them, plus just uncertainty in general with having babies and bringing new human beings into the world. And having a business, I like reached my capacity for uncertainty. And then so as instead of expanding that capacity, which it did expand a lot, but instead of expanding it even more, I kind of just like reduced things so that I could stay within what I was comfortable with in terms of certainty. Like I didn't want there to be a lot of uncertainty in business and in my personal life. So to help me manage the uncertainty in my personal life, I made things feel more certain in my business. But instead of doing that through belief and changing my thinking about it, so as therefore to change my capability and capacity, I made decisions that reduced circumstantially my responsibility. And I stopped being committed. I stopped creating lots of change in my business. And I kind of just went into like being busy with the back end and all of it. I felt like I was working very hard and like really trying to grow the business. But I can see that the piece that was missing, that when Stacey was coaching, it just like, I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like I just had such like, this is a life-changing moment for me to see that I love responsibility. I relish responsibility. I relish having an occasion to rise to. I'm reading the thoughts that I wrote. Commitment activates me. Responsibility activates me. I love having a clear goal that I'm working to achieve and then doing what I need to do to achieve it 100%, not just like, let's see how it goes. Like I love that. And it makes me think about with having kids, I knew I wanted to have kids. Steve did too. Like that was on the cards for something we wanted to do. And then for me, what really had me feel ready was me actually recognizing I love the responsibility. Like I want the responsibility. And how that happened was we got our dog Cotton, our Samoyed, and I was up in the middle of the night with him, and he's a dog, so that lasted like 4 days instead of like a few years. Very different, very different. But I was up in the middle. I remember the moment I was up in the middle of the night with him. He was having a hard time settling, being away from his brothers and sisters and his mum and dad, and being in our house. Like it was his first night in our house. And I took him out to the backyard to go to the bathroom. And as I was standing there, I just felt this like I want to have to be up in the middle of the night. And I mean, 5 years later, I was still up in the middle of the night every night, multiple times. Liam has just turned 1. So I was up 2 times last night with him. But like, it was actually been like, oh, I love having this responsibility. I love having a little creature to care for with my dog. I want to have a little human to care for. And it wasn't like, oh yeah, I guess I could have the responsibility. It was like, actually, like I want the responsibility and I want the commitment. Like I think I want to explore it more in my brain, but commitment and responsibility are very connected. And like, I love taking responsibility. And my perfectionist brain wants to go into like, no, we don't. We like love just going right to shame and going right to like feeling bad and like not actually, when we're in shame, we're not typically taking responsibility. I know we talk as a society of like, oh no, like you want, like when you feel shame, it's because like it will help someone feel responsible instead of, I think like when we feel shame, we actually feel disconnected from the responsibility. When I feel the most responsible, I'm not in shame. I'm actually in like, oh man, that sucks. Like in my office, I have a giant fiddle leaf here, and Steve was helping me move things around. And he was like, you have like the floor here, like our floorboards that we have. He's like, because of how you've watered this plant and it doesn't have a saucer, it has leaked all over the ground. And that is probably rotting like underneath and like maybe up into the wall. And it might be probably causing serious damage. We've had that elsewhere in the house. Not related to me watering the plant, related to water that came into the house. And it's like, I noticed myself want to go into like defensiveness out of shame of like, here's why it's not my fault or whatever. I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Not from like a shame place of like, oh, I messed up. Yeah, I did make a mistake. And Steve had told me that before and I didn't take responsibility. I just like, oh yeah, I'll be more careful. But I didn't actually take steps. And yes, I was like, I want to take full responsibility for that. There's like nothing to be done now. Like it's not the time to go and open up the wall and see what's in there. But I'm going to get a saucer. I'm not going to water the plant again until I have a saucer there. There's also our other giant fiddle leaf. The same thing's probably happening there. So I need to get the new pot for that and have a saucer. We need to repot him. Paul, who I call him Paul because he's tall. We need to repot Paul because he's gotten so big for that pot. And have a saucer for that so that it doesn't go onto the flooring, because the flooring we have, it's not appropriate for it to just sit wet. So anyway, just like really in the last few months, I've just been taking so much responsibility for like little things and my personal finances, business finances. I'm just noticing all the little things I can take responsibility for and taking it. And that has been creating so much momentum, energizing me, and just seeing now in the business, like, oh, me, instead of like, let's hopefully see how it goes. Hopefully if I have more data, hopefully if I have more people, it will work. Like, no, I'm committed to this result and I'm responsible for creating it. It's not up to the data to create the result. It's not up to my plan to create the result. It's not up to enough people or my people to create the result for me. And I just get to witness if it happens. Like, I create that result through connection, through conviction, through invitation, which is like connection and commitment, connection and conviction combined, and commitment. But like, I create the results. And that piece, when I step into that thinking while keeping the same plan that I already had, I fundamentally create different results. So that is what has come up for me. And I just felt so compelled to pick up my phone and record. I don't know if I will also put this on the podcast. It could be like a whole episode, because I do want to record an episode on this topic as well. But anyway, for now, it's just for my vlog. But that is when I talk about self-coaching, this is what I'm talking about, which is like I went into this power planning with like just the goal to plan out my week, and what I have done in that time as part of it. It's part of the process of identifying my needle movers. And as I mentioned at the top, this is me as a coach after thousands of hours of coaching others and myself, and 5+ years experience of power planning and coaching so many different kinds of businesses that I can really easily identify needle movers. Like I know the business mechanics of how to grow a business. So it's like, I don't want this to be the expectation, but being able to create your own breakthroughs of like, oh my God, I believe something different now to what I believed an hour ago. I am obsessed with that feeling. And not from this place of I had a realization that I've been doing everything wrong and I need to change my plan. It's I had a realization that commits me even more to the plan I already had and commits me even more to who I want to become and like connects me more with that rather than I noticed last week, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, I had a realization and then I was like, oh my God, I need to totally change my whole plan. And that is a pattern that I had been in of like, try something, get disappointed, it doesn't work instantly or as easily as I hoped, make myself wrong or make something wrong, the plan wrong, change it. And then I get into this hope and optimism. And then I try that new thing. It doesn't instantly work. Then I make something wrong, change the plan. Like I'd been in that and I graduated from that cycle last week because I saw it and then I immediately was able to change out of it and then just reconnect and recommit to my plan. And I was like, this is like graduation day. Get me a graduation cap because I have just actually broken out of that cycle. It felt so good. I was like, yes. So this is what I teach people to do in PGSD. And this is what we do on coaching calls as well. Like I coach you, like the more coaching calls you listen to and hearing me do this with others, like you will be so much better skilled at doing this yourself and like understanding the beliefs that you want to have, because I could do this as well because I know what beliefs will create the results I want and what beliefs won't, versus when I started out, I didn't even understand how beliefs created results. A lot of people talk about how like, oh, it's just more than just like, thinking positive and like just hoping, like, of course it is. But when you actually believe differently, you feel differently and you act differently and you do take the action required. But it starts with belief, and it starts with, not like belief and self-image, which is your belief about yourself. So I teach all that in PGSD. It's all focused on this kind of work, like getting you to achieve your goals, supporting you to achieve your goals in a way that feels amazing, that feels connected, that has you be more of who you want to be by transforming how you talk to yourself, how you think about your goals, how you think about your week, like all of it. This is what we do in PGSD. So if you like this, join. We open on the 17th of June for 1 week. That's our next enrollment that we have. Or come to the power planning workshop. Let me teach you because that's all about power planning, which is what I'm doing now. So the workshop, that has taken longer than I had given myself, and that's okay. Part of power planning is to do little tweaks and adjust. So I am going to wrap this up by 10:30 because the workshop's at 11, and I just want to go through what I had written out on the whiteboard last week and just simplify down because I wrote a lot of words on the whiteboard last week. I was just so excited, like, and this. But I just want to condense it down and like have pre-written out like what are the words I'm going to write and then teach on that. So I want to do that. I'm going to give myself about half an hour. It's a pretty simple thing. So I have 35 minutes more. And I'm going to finish the other steps of my power hour so that I can take my screenshot, my before screenshot of my power planning. I'm going to use that in my weekly review at the end of the week to compare to. So I'm going to have that by 10:30, and then I'm going to spend 10:30 to 11:30 prepping to the workshop. I'm going to spend 11 to probably 12:30 teaching the workshop, and then executing the plan that I have in my power planning. I will typically have a minute after that workshop, like about 30 minutes, to just have nothing to do. It'll be lunchtime, so just have some lunch, do nothing, see no one else is home right now, and then crack on with my day and with my plan. So I hope it's helpful to hear all of this, and this is what I love so much. And it's interesting with this too. This could have gone into like, okay, now I need to spend so much time like getting into belief. It's actually like, I'm going to keep building my belief and I do have a lot of belief already, so I'm going to take action and just hold space for the uncertainty that comes from me trying my best and the perfectionist fear that my best won't be good enough. And that fear, if I don't just like allow that to be there, those feelings and that fear has me then not try my best, so that if I don't get the result, I can say, well, it would have worked better if I'd really gone for it. And the work of a perfectionist entrepreneur is to have the emotional ability to give it your best without overworking or without going into avoidance, and to just cleanly give it your best and hold space for the uncertainty that it might not get the result you want. And can you just pick yourself up and keep going and try again without spinning out in shame and disappointment and all of that? You can have feelings, but there's a difference between having feelings and when we feel feelings and resisting feelings, which is what causes the spinning. So it's all about this work of your emotional ability. And there's a lot of practical things that go with that. Power planning is really like a very practical way to plan your week, and it supports with all of it. So this is the thing I nerd out on and could talk about all day, every day. And I will stop talking because I have been recording for a long time and I want to get going. So yeah, I'll give you an update soon. Okay, so it is the 20th of May. And I've just done 2 one-on-one coaching calls. And then I had a peer coaching call with one of my really good friends, Sophia, where we coached each other. And something I was saying to her, getting coaching on, was about YouTube. And I have in my power planning, so I'm just about to do my little tweaks to update it. But I have in my power planning to upload my YouTube stuff tomorrow. And I was just saying to her how I'd noticed I just keep deprioritizing it. And then the stuff I was coaching on too was about like how important marketing is, which she already knows, but like it was just showing up somewhere for her that she wasn't in a certain area of her business. And just hearing myself like sell her so hard on the importance of marketing. It's like, okay, I'm going to shuffle this around because it's so important that I get these YouTube videos up. And something I was saying to her as well, because she does something similar in terms of being willing to share behind the scenes stuff, is that I just haven't found them. Maybe they're out there, but I really haven't found many business owners who are making multiple 6 figures a year, millions of dollars a year, who are documenting the behind the scenes of their business in this kind of way and being willing to share stuff. And it just is so needed. This is the stuff I just love to consume the most. And anyone who I find that creates this kind of stuff, or like in podcast form, I just absolutely devour it. And it just makes me think, there was a podcast, I don't think they've released anything lately, at least when I last looked. What was the name of it? But it's Nicholas Cole. I'm trying to remember his friend, Dickie, maybe. I think I've listened to all of their podcast episodes they had, but it's like a behind the scenes podcast of them documenting their business lessons, like obsessed with that. And they're at the like millions of dollars level. And there just should be more content in the world, in my opinion, like that, that's just really sharing the behind the scenes stuff, because I love it so much. So it's so important to get this out, and I'm going to do it today. And my brain, like the main objection from my brain is like, oh, it's just going to be like figuring it out. And I've done it so many times. I already have hundreds of YouTube videos on my channel. Like past me from a decade ago, literally could figure it out. So I know me today can figure it out. I think it's just like getting into the rhythm of it. I'm going to do that now. So I will come back once I have posted my first video. And yeah, I'm excited. So what I'm doing is I am learning Descript, and I've used it before, but I want to use it to edit vlogs, because what I currently know how to do is super bulky and not what I actually want to do. So it just feels nice to be learning something new again, because I feel like I used to do new things in my business, and I haven't really done new things in my business for a while. And this isn't a new thing. I've done YouTube before for a few years, but it is like, I haven't done that since 2019. So that's like 6 years, a long time ago. And what I'm doing is I'm just writing the like workflow from like what I'm doing when I film it on my phone, then how I get it from my phone to my computer, just so that every time I do this process, I don't have to like jog my memory every time. it's just so much quicker to do this. And then I can eventually hire someone to go through this. That's how I outsourced my podcast. Is I did it myself. I documented myself doing it, and then I hired someone to just do what I was doing. So yeah, I just wanted to document. So I'm putting up the first vlog and I'm going through a process. I watched a video on Descript editing by Danny J, I think, Danie. It was really helpful. So I just wrote notes of like the process because it's very similar to what I was planning to do. And I'm doing that. And I had planned to have a couple of hours to do the YouTube stuff and then write some emails this afternoon before I have a client coaching call this afternoon with one of my clients. And then Steve and I are playing tennis. But as I'm doing this, I'm like, this is actually so worth not trying to rush through. Like I'm still just trying to squeeze it in. I'm really glad I moved it to today because I can see why I kept putting it off, because I knew, like I had it at the end of, I was power planning it into my Thursday, which is the last day of my work week. But I think I just subconsciously knew it would take longer than what I was giving myself. And so it just didn't even feel worth starting. And this is a thing that I coach my clients on a lot as well. And it's always so great to notice when it's happening is literally you just might not be following through with something because you just don't give yourself enough time to do it. If you're just trying to squeeze it in and you're like, well, I should be doing something else instead of like, YouTube is such an important part of my business. I already know that, like, it just creates so much connection. It's such a great way for people to find me, for me to find them. There's just so many reasons YouTube is an asset to me and to my business and to my clients and future clients. And it is worth the time. And when I'm in the thought, it is worth the time to do this, I actually do it much more quickly because then I just fully do it properly. And I do things like set up a system so that when I'm recording my next vlog, it's super easy for me to find. I create a proper workflow. When I'm trying to squeeze it in, I just like, I'm only thinking about, I need to do it today, right now. And I don't think about how to make it easier for me to repeat next time and just little things like that. So whenever I'm in the thought of like, this is important, this is worth my time, and not from this, like, I need to do it perfectly kind of way. But like, this is worth my time. It's worth me spending time on this instead of, I wish I didn't have to do this, or this shouldn't take so long. Like all those thoughts we can be in. So just switching into like, this is important, this is an asset, this is worth my time, is allowing me to get it done. And so what I have just done now in my power planning is I've just done my little tweaks to adjust my plans, and I've moved something that was tomorrow to next week. So that, and I had context, I had maybe like 2.5 hours of buffer time at the end of my Thursday. It's always so important to have, like, I could go into this now. Also, quick plug, my power planning workshop. You can join me live and learn power planning. So samlaurabrown.com/workshop. I'll leave the link below. But it's so important to have a flexible, realistic plan that will get you to your goals. So that's what power planning is. And so as I have gotten into doing this, I'm like, oh, actually, to do this so that I can keep doing it every week and not have it take over my week or just be like such a mental drain, is I need a couple of extra hours today. So then I just put some of the things today into my buffer time tomorrow. And then there's also something else earlier in the week I already needed to move, that I always do lots of little tweaks. So it's part of the process. It's not like well, if you mess up, do it. It's like, that's part of workability and adaptability, which is really important in entrepreneurship and just being able to get shit done. So I've moved things for the PGSD launch to next week. And then the things I'm doing for the next power planning workshop, I'm going to do that tomorrow. And then today is essentially a YouTube day. And I had my calls this morning, but it feels good to actually give myself the time and space. And I just like to notice when I keep power planning, like power planning allows me to just be so onto myself and like self-aware in a way that I never found another way to do it. That if I notice myself consistently putting something that I do believe is important, but I put it constantly at the end of my week and then it ends up just not happening, that is a really important thing to look at, because I'm even though it's kind of like I'm in a mindset of like I should do it, but I don't think it's actually important, or I don't think it's actually going to get me to my goal. So I either need to just accept that I'm not going to do it and stop scheduling it, or actually look at what's going on. So like today I moved the YouTube stuff I had for tomorrow forward to today to like guarantee it's getting done this week. And I'm going to be sending Sophia the link. I'm going to send my email list the link as well. So it is getting done today, and not even related to like accountability of sending it to anyone else. I love keeping myself accountable. I've never been the person that wants the accountability buddy, because I have always loved figuring out how to be self-accountable, though a lot of our PGSEs and my clients love having accountability. So I love being able to support with that, but I love self-accountability rather than external, especially for perfectionists. So I like having it, my power planning keeps me accountable to me. And just noticing the pattern for like the last 3 weeks of it being at the end of my calendar and then getting like moved out and not completed and like deleted from my calendar. And then I notice on my weekly review, like, oh, I planned to do that. I didn't do it. What's going on? So I'm doing it. And what was the other thing I was going to say about that? I can't remember. I cannot remember, but I'm going to keep doing this, give myself the spaciousness to do it. And if that's the thing, like I coached myself before I started this and like why I'm willing for it to take longer than I want it to take and why I'm willing to have tech frustrations. And I just increased my willingness and my desire so as to give myself more ability to get it done, instead of just like hoping to be motivated or inspired or whatever. Like I can actually just generate my own desire and willingness by shifting into that thinking. So I did that intentionally for 10 minutes before doing this, so that I went into this feeling very willing and that this is important. This is worth the time. Like I didn't just have that thought naturally that it's worth the time. I sold myself on here's why it's worth the time. And I gave myself so many reasons why it is. And I already believe all of those reasons. They just weren't top of mind. So I just had to dig around in my mind a bit to generate that, and it only takes about 10 minutes to do that. So that is what I'm up to, and yeah, I'm going to keep doing it. Oh, and the thing that really made it feel real is on my computer, I have like a business drop down. I should probably show you, but that would require me moving the camera. I want to keep moving. But I have like in Chrome, like my business, and then I have a section for like podcasts, emails, each launch. For each PGSE launch, I'll have a separate folder for that. And I just made a YouTube folder again, and I just took the YouTube folder in Google Drive out of archives. And yeah, it's just like, okay, I'm back. And that's what I was going to say. The other thing is I mentioned to Sophia this morning, and it reminded me about how I just want to actually document what I'm working on in my business and not kind of dress it up to sound like better or more dramatic or anything than it is. Like I'm just letting you in on what I'm up to, because that's what I love watching. So that's what I'm doing. And I mentioned to her, because she's doing similar things, about being able to do that. And just for me, how having a month lag between when it actually happened and when it's released, that feels like it creates, I teach a concept called safe visibility. It creates a lot of safe visibility for me so that I can be really real and honest and just document all the things. And then I know like a month later that, depending what it is, but like I can, if I have like a really challenging time or anything like that, that a month later, I won't be in the thick of that emotion, and I can better discern, do I want to share that or not? And I also can share the real behind the scenes, what's happening, without having to feel like this week that's getting uploaded. Like I get to have time and space to experience things myself and then share it, but share it the raw and real way instead of like me reflecting. And if you don't know, I have a podcast, the Perfectionism Project, and I've done quite a lot of episodes. I call them like a pod vlog because I love vlogging so much. I love podcasts. It's basically like doing a vlog podcast form. I didn't do any video, but I did behind the scenes of my launches. I will link up some launch episodes that I did But what I did, for example, with the first one I did, which is called Behind the Scenes of a 250K Launch, with that one, I did updates as I was going through all like the pre-launch and everything like that, knowing that none of that would get released until after the launch was fully completed and that I'm in control. I can decide if it gets released or not, so I'm free to share. And then that all, I clipped it together, like put all the little segments together. There wasn't any editing out that I can remember. I keep things very like raw. I don't try to make it more condensed or snappy or whatever. And clip that together, had it just everything compiled, and then that went out in a couple of episodes because it was a lot of recording, a couple of episodes after the launch, so that I felt like I could have time to process any feelings I had, or if I had a lot of disappointment, or just anything, that I have the space to be in my business without having eyes on me week by week. And there's also a delay that like I have then a month for the video to get edited and uploaded. I used to do a daily video on YouTube, and with that, I had it be a week lag, so that I would have a week, even though I was recording daily, I had a week to upload it and I wouldn't do any editing. It was just like I hit start and then I'd hit stop, and that was it, so that I could actually do it. So I'd have a week though to like organize everything and then just could batch upload things. So that is similar to what I'm wanting to do with this, is having the month delay gives myself safe visibility and gives myself time to edit it. It also means if I have a week off or I want to like combine things in different ways, I just have more wiggle room. But I ultimately want it to be a week in my business and documenting the weekly journey in my business. And I'm still thinking through how am I going to structure it to like give you a sense. But I know whenever I watch vlogs, which I love watching, people are like, this is very disjointed, but it doesn't ever feel that way. It just feels like I just like being let in on whatever's going on, and it doesn't have to feel jointed. If that makes sense. It doesn't have to feel joined in a cohesive story arc or anything like that. So I think for now, my plan is just to, when I feel like it, to pull out my phone. I'm just recording this on my phone on the front facing camera, to just pull out my phone and record. And then I'm going to put that together and get it to you. And then I assume I will begin as it goes out, getting feedback about it, or people saying like, oh, can you say more about this? Or, oh, can you share about that? And then that I'll start incorporating that where it makes sense. But I don't know, this is like with podcasting, how I started. I just was such a lover of podcasts for many years before I started my own, that I just knew really clearly what I liked in a podcast, and I wanted to create a podcast I like. That was the main thing I wanted to create, is like, what would I actually want to listen to? And it's still the same stuff, this behind the scenes kind of stuff. So I do a lot of that on my podcast as well. And for YouTube, I know what I like, and it's not like when something's edited down to the T. I like that if it's like an educational video where I'm trying to learn something, like if it's a tech tutorial, like, yeah, I want it snappy. But if it's just like getting let into someone's life, I don't really want it to be super cut or anything like that. I want it to more so feel like I'm actually there. So with that said, I'm going to keep on rolling and going through, like writing out, essentially like just documenting what I am doing. And like the naming convention I'll have for the files, which is like vlog 1.1, vlog 1.2, as in like this vlog I'm doing, there's four different sections I recorded. I'm going to do vlog 1.1, vlog 1.2, vlog 1.3, vlog 1.4. And then I do this kind of thing with my podcast. I have naming conventions for things, so it's super easy to find stuff on the back end, rather than just naming it like the title or like not naming something. I have numbers for everything, like different emails. We send Perfectionist Power Up emails that I write, and I just restarted doing like new ones each week, but I'm up to like PPU.196. It's like the 196th week of me doing Perfectionist Power Ups. And then we have PPU.196.1. And that means the Monday email for week 196. So I can just say to someone on my team, hey, can you go and have a look? There's an issue with PPE 196.3. And they know exactly what email without having to go, hey, the one that went on Wednesday on this date. Oh yeah, let me figure out. It's just like, it's so clear. Learned that the hard way because I used to not do it like that. So just mentioning that in case it is helpful, it is worth the few extra minutes to think up a naming convention and then follow a naming convention for yourself. So it's going to be, to share the full thing, vlog 1.1 raw. So I know it's the raw footage WS for week starting 13th of May, 2026. So every time I'll do, this is the first part of the vlog that's for that week starting that date. Because I'm wanting to do a week in my business. So, okay, that's my updates. I'm gonna keep going. I don't know how clearly this is gonna show up because it looks a bit pixely on my phone. It probably looks the same way when I upload it. But anyway, I just want to document. This is currently, I'm about to upload the first vlog, but this is currently my stats. So I've been on here for 9 years. And I have 4,297 subscribers, and people, they're still viewing my old videos. I have some podcast episodes that have gone out. The last public video was published. Oh my God. So fun. Okay. Published. Sorry, you can't see. May 21st, 2018. And today is May 20th, 2026. So tomorrow, should I publish it tomorrow instead of today? But tomorrow is going to be the, what? Yeah, 8 years since my last video. And then these are the vlogs I used to do. Interesting, there's one that I didn't upload. Oh, there's all these ones I didn't upload that are just on private. Like I uploaded, oh my God, there's like 30 of them. I think like when I don't know, why didn't I? I'd have to go back. Interesting. And yeah, there's a lot here. So I'm going to get this video ready to upload so that I can be on YouTube again. It's the next day. It's the 21st of May. And I have just published my first vlog. And I feel, and I was coaching on this in PGSE this morning about just carrying on with your plans while feeling uncertain instead of uncertainty having to stop you and uncertainty being a problem. Just like I can feel in my chest this like kind of just like a fluttering, nervous sort of feeling. And that's okay. And I didn't make an actual thumbnail because I felt like so much perfectionism was coming up with that I didn't really even start. It was just in my head. I had to look on Canva for templates and then I was like, oh, this just feels like a bigger deal, like such a big deal to my perfectionist brain that it's going to be an obstacle. And what's most important, the needle mover, is getting it published. And so YouTube auto generates options from your video of a thumbnail and I just picked one. And that's okay. It's sufficient. And this is such a big thing for perfectionists that allows us to take action is instead of what's optimal is I have an amazing thumbnail and the perfect title and all of that. But literally, if I try to do that, I likely won't have a published video, which is suboptimal, no published video. So if I can just focus on what actually would be sufficient, which is I just need to have some kind of image there. And over time, I will develop however I'm going to do the thumbnails. But I don't have to do that today. It's actually just sufficient and better. It's better for me to have a video with a sufficient thumbnail instead of an optimal thumbnail than for me to have no video at all published. This video is going to be really helpful. I'm going to send an email out to my list about it and my email subscribers. I'm going to link it up in my podcast that I'm back on YouTube. And I know there are already so many people in my audience who don't care about the thumbnail. And I do want new people to find it. And I do believe the thumbnail is important. But is it the needle mover right now? No. And this is such an important piece of business is understanding what the needle mover is. It's why I teach on needle movers. It's about understanding what's the current problem or constraint in my business. And I had an idea around a couple of days ago. I want to do an episode on one person's needle mover is another person's busy work, because it's so easy to look at like there is someone in the world who their needle mover is designing a beautiful thumbnail because of where they're at in their business and the problems they're experiencing in their business. For me, the needle mover is getting it published and just having it go out. And then once I've done 4 in that way, then I'm going to look at what next to do. But for me now, like the needle mover is just having them go out and be available and then moving on with the other things I need to do, because I could spend time or I could hire someone to try and hopefully do it amazingly. And this is the thing, I wouldn't hire someone to do it because it's not the needle mover at this point. And also I can do it. But also, side note, all these side notes, just because I can do it doesn't mean I wouldn't hire someone else to do something, but it isn't the needle mover is the point. And me really understanding, like this is how I built my podcast to over 600 episodes, is really understanding what the needle mover is and just being able to move on with other stuff and move on with the rest of my day. Because if I did spend the time either hiring someone and communicating to them what my vision is for it, and then going back and forth with them, or me doing it myself, then that means I'm not having the time instead to go to writing the emails to go out about the PGSD launch and the power planning workshop and all the other things I do. Because I've power planned out my day, I can see the opportunity cost of if I spend extra time on this, the things I'm going to have to delete out of my calendar that I don't want to delete out of my calendar. So I'm proud of me. I feel like it feels good to have it published. And I also feel like I want to rewatch it back to make sure the video actually is fine. But I know it is. It's just like that wanting reassurance to feel more certain instead of I'm just going to carry on while feeling uncertain. So that's my plan. That's what I'm doing. I'm carrying on with my original plans while feeling uncertain. Just went to record and I can see I've been busy writing. So this feels like a good time to record because I'm in the thick of a task that is at the point now where I don't want to continue just because it just is requiring mental energy. And I'm like, I'd rather just do anything else. So I'm writing the emails to promote the upcoming power planning workshop. And I've written all the emails. It's all ready to go. I've written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 emails. And I wrote them in about an hour. And they're quite short emails. I just was like, what's like the people on my email list who are subscribed, like if they can relate with what I talk about enough to be on my email list, they want to be at this workshop. Yeah, it's just so good. And quick little update, I am just in the middle of a task that I just want to capture this feeling because this is something I help my clients with. I help perfectionist entrepreneurs get shit done. I help people complete things and do that without overthinking and procrastinating. I'm at the point with writing these emails to promote the power planning workshop that, and like they're 99% done to give to my assistant to schedule. And I'm at the point where I can feel myself like overthinking one particular sentence. And I can just notice myself doing it. Like my brain is like, if we can just get this one sentence just right, then, and it's like the footer of the email that'll go in each of the emails. I'm like, if I can just get this just right. And I probably spent like 15 minutes on this sentence. And I know if you're the kind of person I help, you can relate to that. And I am just letting it be sufficient instead of like what we do with our perfectionist brains is like, oh, I'll know completion when I see it. Like I'll know once it's done. And what we're actually waiting for is a feeling. We're waiting for a feeling in our body that it is safe. Like we're waiting for certainty. We're waiting for confidence. Like we're just waiting to feel good. And being able to complete things without feeling good being a requirement and understanding that you can feel good about work and it not be the best work, and you can feel not great about work and it be actually incredibly good, which is a kind of mind-blowing to a perfectionist. Like, but wait, isn't how I feel about it actually, like if I don't feel good about it, I don't want to put that out there. But I have published so much work, and particularly with the podcast, put out so many episodes that I thought like, that was not my best. And I get amazing feedback about it. Like actually allowing yourself to publish and put things out there and not just create as practice and then not publish them. Like actually the act of publishing creates safety because you start to learn, oh, my brain isn't actually the best judge of the quality. It's just thinking about me and making sure everyone likes me and that I look good and I sound smart and all of that. So I'm just noticing myself. I've been sitting very focused for about an hour and a half. I'm just noticing myself wanting to overthink that and overthinking that. And now I'm just going to move on and let like wherever iteration I'm up to be the iteration. And the next time I write the emails, I could just like go away and think about it and something else will pop into my head next time. So I just wanted to capture that because I'm like, and my brain is like, no, but we really just need to get this sentence right. So I have been drinking warm water. That is my current new favorite drink. I literally make a cup of tea without the tea bag and without the milk. I just put in hot water, about 3/4 full, and then cold like tap water instead of the milk, like just a ratio of like hot to cold liquid. And I always want to drink so much tea, but I can't like handle the caffeine and I don't really want to drink all the decaf tea. And like there's other teas as well. But I don't actually want to drink tea, but I just figured out I love just drinking warm water. I just want warmth. It's winter here. So it's nearly winter. It's May. In the scheme of things, it's not very cold in Brisbane. It's still like 20 degrees Celsius, but I want warmth. So anyway, I've just got my warm water. I'm going to let these emails be complete and mark in Airtable that they're ready for scheduling and then move on. I'm writing a bunch of emails this afternoon. So I'm going to let myself move on, even though my brain is like, no, stay with this. And that's part of it. Like overthinking this sentence is more comfortable than moving on to creating more and more things. So my brain wants to like just slow me down so as to avoid any perceived danger that comes as a perfectionist with putting stuff out there. So carrying on.